Hey guys, this is Matt Miller with PolitiBrawl News. Watch Congressman Byron Donalds call out CNN during a live interview for being overly critical of Trump's economic plan while ignoring for 4 years the failures under the Biden administration that completely led to a destroyed economy. This right here is exactly how you hold the mainstream media accountable.
So I just laid out the numbers for you and talked about that economic data as well. Does it concern you at all that Trump and Musk's efficiency initiatives are impacting the economy in this way?
Let's be clear about the numbers that you're reporting. The reason why the job growth numbers are down is because government workers are the ones who are starting to lose their job at the federal level. And it needs to be understood that under the previous administration, they increased the government workforce really in ways that are unsustainable. So what is happening here in Washington is getting the federal government under control so we can get spending under control. And the number one way you get inflation in an economy is overspending at the federal level. So yes, we have to shrink the federal government. It has to live within its means. That's what the American people have to do every day. But the other elements of our economy are very, very strong, and they're going to remain that way.
But the consumer sentiment is down. It's the lowest it's been in 3.5 years. Spending is down. Certain prices are up. The leader of that study on the economy says what we're seeing is the Doge effect on those numbers. I just spoke to Mark Short, who worked for Trump the first term, and he said Trump's tariff policy is undermining his goals on the economy. What do you say to that?
Well, what I say is that tariff policy is one piece of the overall economic picture. Tariff policy is one thing. You have deregulation at the federal level, which is critical for the future health of our economy. The last administration laid $2 trillion of regulation on the economy and then tried to backfill it with stimulus packages and government hires.
It was other issues as well. It wasn't just $2 trillion.
It was $2 trillion. Listen, I know the facts. It was $2 trillion.
I looked it up because I've heard you say that in other interviews.
It was $2 trillion in regulations that the Biden administration layered on our economy, coupled with massive overspending, which created inflation. That created the picture that we are in today. So what we have to do is, yes, cut regulations. We're going to pass the president's tax agenda, which is reauthorizing his tax policy, and also become energy dominant. Those are the things of how you create the environment for a thriving economy that grows on its own, as opposed to relying on government stimulus and government jobs.
Just to be clear, it was regulations and broader spending initiatives for that $2 trillion number. I want to ask you about this breaking news just coming into CNN that Trump just announced that Mexico will not be required to pay tariffs on any products that fall under the USMCA agreement. He did this, quote, out of respect for the Mexican president. Was Trump's back and forth tariff decision the right call, especially given the volatility of markets? We just heard from that farmer, too, who said this tariff back and forth is just causing mass uncertainty. Businesses hate that. You know that.
Well, look, I'm going to repeat myself a little bit here.
Okay.
It is important that we stabilize not just our economic relationships around the globe, but also the fact that we got to secure our border and we got to stop the flow of fentanyl. Give Donald Trump the opportunity to actually negotiate with the Mexican president and with Canada and with China. You got to give him that opportunity, because when prices were rising in the United States, I didn't hear CNN talking about that much. As a matter of fact, you ignored most of it while it was hurting the American people. So let the president negotiate on tariff policy. That is what he's doing, and it's going to work out to the better. You didn't cover it the way it needed to be covered. Let's just be perfectly honest.
Okay, well, that's a matter of opinion.
You let the last administration get away with it, but the American people suffered as a result. No, it's not my opinion. That's a fact.
Okay, no, it's not a fact. Congressman Byron Donalds, thank you for coming on to share your points of view. We appreciate your time, and best of luck in your run for governor of Florida. We'll be right back.
So I love to see it. Byron Donalds confronting the mainstream media during a live interview in front of millions of people, or I guess whoever watches CNN nowadays. It used to be millions of people. I'm not sure if it is anymore. Probably not. And he's confronting her saying, look, you guys played cover for the Biden administration for the last 4 years while he let the American economy get beat to hell. Inflation was rampant. It completely crippled the American consumer. And that all happened under Biden. That's the economy that Trump is inheriting right now. And that's why he needs to have a heavy hand to rectify that. Biden also let millions of illegal immigrants into this country with a wide open border, completely ignoring the border crisis and not taking the appropriate action as a leader. And that costs the American taxpayer billions of dollars across this entire nation. You know, in just New York, $6 billion for migrant shelters, converting hotels into havens for crime and gang members, and even just a lot of people who are refugees or came here illegally, but even if they don't, they just want to be Americans. But still, that is weighing billions and billions of dollars on the American taxpayer. It's a real economic weight on our shoulders that it's why we need to control the border. We need to control the rates at which these people are coming, because we can't afford to take care of all of them. I mean, how many people are in poverty around the world? This is the question that Democrats and people who are for open borders need to be asked. If you think that illegal immigration is a way that America can basically solve poverty for across the entire world, look at the numbers. How many people are in poverty in third world countries? Billions of people. Like half the population of the world, basically. If we let in even just 10%, 1% of that every year, and tried to chip away and actually make even a small dent, just by letting them come into this country and come onto our welfare programs and what have you, America would be destroyed. We would no longer have an economy. We wouldn't have a nation. We wouldn't be a sovereign country anymore at all. And we would have the same problems that the third world does. So it's just not a realistic solution. It's a very lofty, ideal scenario that they think that if we just let in people from whoever they are, that this will help solve world poverty. It's a way that America can atone for its sins of colonization or whatever the leftists, however they want to paint it. But it's going to cripple and destroy us in doing so. And even the small amount that we take in right now, I mean, it's really a massive amount. Millions, there's 11 million illegal immigrants in this country. And how many millions more would have been let in if Biden, or not Biden, I guess Kamala Harris was reelected and the open border policies continued? It would have continued to destroy the economy. So there's massive critical damage to the American economy right now that was done under the Biden administration. Trump needs to solve these problems fast because Americans are hurting. And that's why he's making big moves and very bold plays like this tariff negotiation strategy so that we can get better deals in commerce. We can get better cooperation with them controlling the border, which is a major, as I said, a major economic issue for us right now. And it's just, if they're really our allies, if they're really our neighbors, then they should have no problem complying with these things. This would be helpful to the United States. And if they're not going to do that because they've been getting a free ride under Biden and they're used to taking the American people, the American taxpayer for granted, taking advantage of us, that's not going to happen under Trump. That's done. Those days are over. And I love to see, once again, Byron Donalds calling out the mainstream media, the corporate media, which is bought and paid for, the establishment, the uniparty, the elites, to protect their status quo, not to actually report on facts and inform the American people. That's not their priority. Their priority is protecting the establishment status quo. CNN, ABC, NBC, they're all bought and paid for people who don't actually care about us and where our tax dollars are going and our safety, our community's safety, any of those things. That's not what they care about. So good on Byron Donalds calling them out. I love to see it. This is how we push back against this corporate media machine that lies to us, that is not here to inform us. It's here to hypnotize us to believe what they want us to believe. So anyway, let me know what you guys thought of this clip in the comments. If you liked the video, please leave a like and subscribe to the channel. Ring the notification bell so you guys get notified when we post new videos here on PolitiBrawl News. Thank you for your support, and I'll see you next time.